Hi, everybody. I just want to start by thanking everybody for tuning in. I so appreciate your time and attention. We're all busy, and the fact that you're here means a lot, and I do appreciate it. With that said, if there are topics that you're interested in, please let me know. I'll be happy to check in with guidance, with tarot, with my own experience, and just offer, as always, my opinion. Remember, these are the things that I've learned from doing tarot for 40 years and also for listening to guidance. And with that, I wanted to talk about that today. I wanted to talk about the fact, maybe throw it out as a question. Should we do everything that the universe tells us? That's one question. I think another question on my mind is also, how do we know what to do about that message? And let me give you an example of the question I just mentioned. I, as you know, have many clients, and sometimes when somebody approaches me with an example in their life, like let's say, they have this idea that they want to pursue. I'm just going to say pottery, right? Doing pottery. They really want to get out of their 9 to 5. They're thinking this would be a great opportunity to do this. It's a dream I've always had. This is just an example, but I really want to start a business with what I really love and where my passion is, and that's doing ceramics, right? So they start this, and then at some point along the way, and maybe early on, they are running into a lot of failure. Things are hard. The wheel that they thought they were going to buy turned out to be way more expensive than they thought. The space that they were going to use for their kiln turned out to be a space that they were going to have to share with a few other people, and the scheduling was going to be rough. And it went on and on and on like that. And this woman, her response to all of that, and again, this is made up, but this is the kind of stuff I've heard a lot from people, is, well, I guess, the universe is throwing in so many challenges and so much difficulty that I guess I maybe never should have started this. It signals to them this thought that if it's too hard, why push the river, right? Now, sometimes that's true. And I can give you plenty of examples of that when, and maybe I will in a moment. But the other thought, the possibility is also there that with all of these challenges this woman is facing, what's really happening is that the universe is really asking her to really think about how committed she is to this dream and this plan. We all have plans, dreams, things we want to accomplish. We're creative. This is what humans do, right? And it's scary. And it's especially scary when we jump ship from like a secure situation to something that would feed us with passion and that has absolutely no assurance that we'll be able to support ourselves. But there is something to be said for our passions and the things that we truly, truly want in our lives, right? And how that fuels us and feeds us. And we're not going to follow those things we want to do irresponsibly, but at the same time, pursuing them is worth trying for. And my experience many times has been really when I'm faced with those challenges, as I proceed to really honor the truth of my life and what I want in a positive way, those challenges that are before me have been my test. I kind of hate that word, but can't think of another one right now. To really ask myself, how committed am I going to be? Am I going to get through this fear of failure? Am I going to decide that the negative path ahead of me with all of these challenges is a signal that I should quit and give up on what I really truly believed was right for myself? So I think there's a time and a place to really view challenges in that way, with that perspective. Now, back to what I was saying about, so when is it a situation where you should just get out, give up? All those challenges, yeah, not worth your time. Well, My belief about that and what guidance has shown me is that that happens after we've tried and we've tried and we've tried, right? Using myself as an example, I was working in a toxic work environment, a day job that was horrific because of the people I worked with. And I tried to make it better. I tried, went through mediation, talked to my boss, yada, yada, yada. I will spare you. But it went on for years and I tried. I even tried to change who I was to make it better, right? Asking people, is there some way I can work with you that would make it easier for you, right? Tried. Well, nothing changed. The only thing that changed was me. And I got more stressed and it became more difficult to work with these people. I think the last straw was in mediation, realizing that these people were actually refusing to change or work with me. And at that point, really, guidance says that's like continuing to climb the Himalayas. You know you want to climb. You know you want to get to that, summit. But at the same time, with all the equipment you're carrying, you've also decided that you're going to carry an extra 50 pounds of rock on your back, right? What's the point? After a while, you can't be pushing those rocks uphill. It doesn't pay. And at that point, yeah, the universe isn't saying, how committed are you to this job? Myself and the universe is really colluding to say, how much are you going to suffer? And there's also that perspective. And I think no matter whether you're doing something passionately that you want to do, or whether you're working in situations where you can't change a negative environment, I think that question is also worth asking when you get information, right? How much am I suffering? And am I willing to suffer more? Sometimes, yes, I did for many years at that job. Now, getting back to what I said again also about how should we listen to everything the universe tells us? Well, I say no. I think that we have free choice, free will. I think that the messages come to us. Doesn't mean we have to act on them right away. My advice, you can take it or leave it. What I do is if I get advice from the universe and it totally resonates with me, and I'm talking about even when I do a tarot reading, right? A tarot reading, or whether guidance is talking to me and I'm channeling information, if it resonates with me, then I absolutely will more than likely follow through. I may not do it immediately, but I definitely hold on to what's being told me. If it doesn't resonate at all, I'm like, whoa, really? And I've had that happen. I thought once I was going to take a class in doing commercial acting work. A long story short, but a legitimate scout actually said I'd be good on camera and all I should do is take a few lessons, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wow, who knew I could be an actress? And I think maybe I'll pursue that, even though it was never something I wanted to do. Anyway, my point is I was so sure I was going to take the classes that she recommended. And I went to guidance and sure enough, they were like, no. And it was such a shock because I was so sure I was headed in that direction, right? And I sat with that. I've got plenty of examples of this, by the way. And I was like, oh, well, screw you, guidance, that kind of thing. But after sitting with it for 3 days, I realized they were right. And I realized the why of why they were right. For me, it just was heading in a direction that I never thought to go or wanted to go. Now, we all know that sometimes those directions that we don't want to go or never thought to go are the right directions. And I've had that happen too. But in that case, it wasn't. And I knew it. And I let that idea die. So I always err on the side of waiting, really figuring out whether something resonates with me. And my experience has shown that eventually it will or it won't. But I just caution all of us to be aware. Just remember that the universe might be helping us through tarot, through what you channel, through what I channel, but it's not the be all and the end all. I think mostly what I wanted to share today is that we have free choice, free will. And the best of us is what we know inside of ourselves, trusting ourselves more than we trust anything else. And that means we need to learn how to listen. All right. Well, thanks for being here again. I so appreciate you. I will remind you to follow me, subscribe on all of my social media places. I'm on Substack now doing some writing personal stories about my experiences with guidance and tarot. You might want to check into that. In the meantime, subscribe here. And again, thank you so much for being with me today.